Hi everyone, Landry Etheridge here with Etheridge Counseling Group. Today I'm sitting down with Claire Johnson, one of our incredible therapists here in Charleston, South Carolina, to talk about something we don't see on holiday cards, and that is holiday loneliness. So even in rooms full of people, a lot of us feel quite heavy and alone, even when we're surrounded by friends and family. Claire wrote such a great article on this topic, really go diving into this, I think, pretty common experience. So I'm excited to sit down and kind of unpack some of this today. So, Claire, in your article, you talked about how holiday loneliness isn't necessarily about being physically alone. Can you share a little bit more about what actually creates that like unseen, unheard, kind of feeling disconnected? What creates that feeling?
Yeah, people think of loneliness as just being by yourself, but often it can feel even more lonely when you're surrounded by a bunch of people and still feeling disconnected. So it's really about the emotional loneliness that's the piece that's so painful. When you don't feel like you're really being listened to, or you and your loved ones are missing each other, if you're just too busy and don't have time to really sit down and connect with each other and have meaningful conversations, if you're not able to share the parts of your life that you love with them, it's really about feeling emotionally alone is what can feel so isolating.
Mhm. You also mentioned that the holidays can amplify emotions that we're already carrying, like grief or, unmet needs or longings. What are some of the common emotional themes you see come up for your clients during this time of year?
Yeah, the holidays definitely heighten our emotions. Like anniversaries in general, those types of things tend to bring up a lot of emotions for people. And so the holidays are a kind of different version of that. It brings up a lot of different things. Grief is a big one because, you know, w holidays remind us of families and can really bring up grief for people who are no longer with us, or for the types of families we don't have anymore, or even for the types of families we want and we don't have. So a lot of grief. And then it can also just like bring up feelings of past trauma, like from childhood, from years past where there were difficult family dynamics or just challenging times. Those emotions can just really come back and hit you strongly during the holidays. And then also just, the holidays kind of are like a mirror to show you around like what everyone else is experiencing, and it can just have a way of bringing up the things that you really want and reminding you of what you don't have.
Mm-hmm. You also wrote about sort of redefining connection, that it doesn't need to be like big or performative. What are some of your favorite sort of like gentle ways that someone can create connection when they're feeling like disconnected, depleted?
Yeah. Often we think that it has to be something really big to
Mhm.
reconnect with other people, but it can be something very small. Just a simple, if you're feeling lonely or isolated, a simple text message to a friend of, hey, I'm thinking of you, or I'm feeling disconnected right now. Just a small kind of reaching out your hand to somebody else can make such a huge difference. It doesn't have to be like a 3 hour phone call or this huge, like a big extravagant dinner with friends. Like it really can just be a small moment. Even just like going on a walk with a neighbor, or sitting outside and calling your mom. Like just something really small can really bring you back into connection.
I love that. For anybody who's watching who maybe feels like ashamed or embarrassed that they are feeling lonely during the holiday season when everyone else kind of, the highlight reel, everyone else seems so happy, what would you want them to know or remember?
I definitely want them to know that they are not alone in that feeling, that it is such a common feeling to think that you're the only one who doesn't have it all, or doesn't have the perfect family, or isn't where you want to be in life. And so many people are feeling that. That's kind of the one thing I would really want people to know is that they're not the only person that feels alone during that time, and that there's really a lot more beneath the surface than what meets the eye.
I love that. Claire, thank you so much for your insight and writing this article. I think it'll be so helpful for people, for anybody who's watching, who a lot of this maybe resonates with you and you're interested in getting into therapy. Please head over to the website, etheridgecounseling.com, and you can schedule a free consultation and get set up if you're living in South Carolina, get set up with a therapy appointment or perhaps even work with Claire. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow to stay up to date on future videos with Claire.